have been taught to survive apart. Now we have a more difficult lesson, that is to learn to live together. Surviving apart is not nearly as productive as learning to live together. Maybe the most vivid expression of this when the Indianapolis Colts plays the opposition team next week. If the team were all black or all white, the team could not play in the Major League of Athletics. And because you have to choose players based upon their contributions to the team efforts, that in a real sense, you choose when the Colts play next week, you'll be choosing uniform color, not skin color, because we've taken our struggle to another level. And that's all because in the NFL, there are discipline rules that govern us, and there are no alterations based upon color. We all matter. In the real sense, in the real world, we all matter. Today, with all of our challenges at home, our hearts are broken by the scenes coming out of Haiti. The utter devastation, lives lost in Haiti, and so far lack of sufficient resources to get the people into rescue. But I would say this, that the reason I want us to think beyond the obvious, that there was a size 7.0 earthquake in San Francisco about 20 years ago, and 63 people died. A size 7.0 Richter scale earthquake in Haiti, 100,000 plus have died. It means that poverty is a bigger issue than the earthquake. That's really what it means. It means that in the Haiti earthquake, where the head of state's house came crumbling down, the U.S. Embassy did not come crumbling down because it was well built. U.S. Embassy has now been used as a temporary hospital because it did not come down. So in the real sense, the lasting lesson of Haiti is the impact of poverty. And we have such an abounding moral obligation to Haitians, because today, while Haitians are in pain, we love the Haitians today. But the Haitians loved us first. In the Revolutionary War, Haiti was our ally. Haitians fought at the Battle of Savannah. They were our allies. Probably the reason we're speaking English and not French today is that they defeated Napoleon and the French in Haiti, denying slavery in that country and ending it in the Western Hemisphere. Because they did defeat Napoleon and the French in Haiti, we were able to buy Louisiana in 1803. Louisiana purchased in 1804. And all that land west of the Mississippi, for some suggest $1 an acre on the average, but that's because of Haitians' contribution to us. So we get beyond the rescue effort, which is such a big deal, and relief, to be able to learn what is the teachable moment about that crisis. There's a moral imperative that we must feed the hungry and care for those whose backs are against the wall. As I watched it, and I closed before some Q&A, the question, what advice would Dr. King give President Obama today? It would be defend the poor and deliver the needy. To rebuild our economy bottom up and not top down. So you measure our nation's greatness and our character by how we treat the least of these. To rebuild our economy banker down may be ill-advised. To build it workers up may be well-advised. That would be a Dr. King intention. And so while he no doubt would have supported President Barack in his candidacy, it would not have left him unable to challenge what he thought were priorities. He supported John Kennedy over Goldwater, over Nixon. He still marched in Washington for a public accommodation bill. He would not have given up his right to protest. He supported President Johnson over Goldwater, who still had to march and settle for the right to vote. No doubt he supported President Barack over McCain. Would not have given up his right to protest the fact that here we are with renewed concentration of wealth on Wall Street and expanding war in Afghanistan, and the unemployment rises, the poverty rises, and the despair rises. And that would be a source of creative tension. And so I want you who studied Dr. King during this season, do not see him just as a kind of idle dreamer or who cited poetry, who liked the song, "If I Could Help Somebody," and Precious Lord. Dr. King was a tough policy maker, not just a dreamer. He changed laws, and he died reviled by many, and maybe a very hated man, loved by relatively few. But once he was killed, we learned to embrace him more. We learned to love the martyr in ways that we learned to hate the man. That's the paradox of our time. The man that we love so much today, he died in some sense so hated because he wanted to do something simple, like end war, like end racial barriers, like teach us to live together. And we didn't want to learn that lesson. We had found comfort in learning to live apart. We had found comfort and profit in war. As he opposed those values, he put them in conflict with the values of our country. And so you honor a great man in honoring Dr. King, because at the end of the day, he made America better. We are better today and better off because of his sacrifices. So thank you very much.